Welcome back to the Always Forward podcast. I have got a very special guest with me on this one. This is number 19, episode 19, Travis.
Appreciate you having me here.
Travis is a patient coordinator with Core Medical Group. I bet you if this was live, there'd be so many questions. So many questions.
Yeah, maybe a few.
Let's just go to the beginning. Like, where did you grow up?
Mm-hmm. So I was born and raised in New Jersey.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did you meet Johnny when we were down here?
Yeah. That's
what we talked about.
The Jersey tattoo right there.
Tattoo?
Right away, I was like, okay.
Dirty Jersey. We're in Jersey.
Dirty Jersey. So Northwest Jersey, kind of out in the sticks.
Oh, right. I think right around where he was, right?
Yeah, he wasn't too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a good bit where we were hanging out.
Yeah.
It's always cool meeting someone from the fellow Dirty Jersey area. But
I will be up there at the end of April. I've got to go to, is it Oceanside?
Yeah, Oceanside.
Yeah.
It's a nice town.
Yeah. So Tom DeBlas has his gyms up there, his jiu-jitsu gyms up there. So I'm going to go up there. And then one of our clients, former clients, he was like 300 pounds. And now he looks like you. He's like a jacked 205.
Total 180.
Total 180. Whole different life.
That's
so
awesome.
We're gonna film a little docuseries. He's actually, I don't know who his patient coordinator, but he's with Core as well.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, we're gonna film a little mini docu thing on him about his journey about,
That's
mindset
incredible.
and losing weight. Yeah,
Being able to help people in that manner is
he's a very different life. So he works for Microsoft, and he works for Microsoft and doing some online security stuff. And he was just like crushing McDonald's in the hotels and and his dad, it's going to be a great story. His dad died a little bit older than him, and for the same reasons, and he was heading down the same road.
So he was going around the same path.
Same path, dude. And he and he realized oh shit, man, in a couple of years, I'm going to be at the same age that my dad was when he died. So he's like, something has changed. So
Good on him.
So 3 years ago, he signed up as a client, and he's been with us ever since. Now he's a coach.
He's a coach now?
Now he's one of our coaches.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So he went through the journey. Now wants to pass it back on to
and
others as well.
he's great. So a lot of the guys that are in the same demographic as him and dealing with the same stuff, Josh gives them to him because it's a perfect
connection.
Because he understands exactly where they're at, and he can call them on all their bullshit because he was one, you know what I mean? Because he was one of the guys. Anyways, you grew up in Jersey. Did you stay there until you joined the Army?
So I grew up in Jersey, went to college for one semester. Didn't
this is definitely not for me.
I knew right off the bat.
What'd you go for?
So I didn't even. Honestly, I had my sister fill out all my classes that I was going to take.
So you just
didn't fill out the paperwork.
Just general stuff.
Yeah. So I went there.
So you're a football guy.
Yeah. So I grew up playing football. A couple different sports, but football was my main one. The team sport environment.
Yeah.
That was really drilled home through my parents. Grew up doing that. Ended up being fortunate enough to have the opportunity to go play in college. Knew the school thing really wasn't.
What college?
East Stroudsburg University. Just a small little D2? Yeah,
okay.
D2 school right over the Delaware Water Gap.
Okay.
So had the opportunity. Didn't make the most of it. I had fun. But
what was the crux? What was the problem?
I just really didn't want to play anymore. But with that opportunity, I was like, you know what? Let me go give it a shot.
You didn't want to play ball anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the education again on top of that was the real factor in. I don't want to keep going to school. I basically floated through school. Like most of us throughout our lives. Growing up, didn't apply myself as much as I probably should have. But
see, that's such an interesting thing, right? And I think that's the reason why school. I've talked a lot about this. I've had Matt Bardew, who's an educator with Action Placer Academies and Apogee Academy. The whole school system and learning is just jacked.
It's bad.
It's bad, right?
It's bad.
Like you and I, granted, we come from similar cuts of cloth and backgrounds, but it's just not built for the general populace of people to learn.
Completely agree.
We just don't give a shit.
That's what it is. When you find what you actually do, give a shit about.
So how do you make people give a shit about learning? You have to inspire them and to come up with creative ways. But sitting in a classroom at a desk for 8 hours a day or standing in line about some bullshit that's never going to matter in life.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? You're not motivating anyone to learn anything.
No, because there's no reason or
why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
when are you going to use this later on in life? What are you
then you graduate. You don't know anything about credit. You don't know anything about taxes. You don't know anything about making money. You don't know anything about managing your life at all as an adult.
Skills.
No life skills whatsoever.
Skills. That's it. That's what's lacking. It's the general by the book.
But hey, you learned the quantitative whatever formula. You know what I mean? It's like
I couldn't even tell you if you're right or wrong there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right.
That shit.
It doesn't matter. Anyways, so
yeah,
one semester was enough for you?
That was it. So
were parents pissed?
You know what? They weren't pissed. It's a funny story, actually.
Go ahead, tell it.
My dad actually went to the same college.
Okay.
Same reason to play football.
Okay.
He left with nothing, 0 credits. I left with 0 credits. Same story. Same exact story. I can't make it up, swear to God. So that's kind of like a running joke in my family.
So I wonder, did you subconsciously follow in footprints of your dad?
So I don't want to say I was subconsciously following them, but did have a little bit of a factor in there when I'm like, you know what? I feel like it's almost like poetic justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't, he did the same thing. I followed in his path.
He can't say anything, can he?
No. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you going to tell me? Get all pissed at me? I'm like, you did the same, probably even worse. You know what I mean? So it was a good time though. I had a blast while I was there. I made the most of it.
Yeah.
Ended up moving back to Jersey. My dad's a carpenter, so I mean, real blue collar guy. Sid's met him pretty recently. Just old school.
Still working or retired?
Still working. Okay. He'll never stop.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys that
there's no such thing as retirement anyway.
No, exactly,
it's not a real thing.
Exactly, and honestly, it's the purpose.
Yeah,
you have to get up.
People that retire, they die within 5 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, they start going crazy. That's why they're hanging out at clubs, bars,
our old guys. They're all at the VFW. Smoking cigarettes and drinking beer.
Yep, I spent a couple nights at a VFW when I was up in Jersey
with all the old guys.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, I like the crowd for sure.
But you're right. It's purpose, right? You don't have anything to live for.
No, well, when you wake up in the morning or when you set your alarm clock the night before, what's the reason that you're setting that alarm?
Yeah.
Why are you getting up in the morning? Why are you waking up at 6 a.m.? Or some of us, like, I know you're an early riser too. Yeah. When my alarm goes off at 5 a.m., I know I need to splash water in my face, put my shoes on, get out the door and run. Yeah. Because that's what I start my day with.
That's what you still do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So every once in a while, don't get me wrong, I'll slide every once in a while, but
it's an 80-20 rule.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah. Like sometimes the knees are hurting a little bit more, but it's the purpose, the regiment. Once you build that routine.
Do you think that has to do with your time in the Army? Like just that?
I really do. The Army was, I love the Army. So have tons of buddies that are still in, a lot of obviously the patients at Corps.
You're fresh out of the Army, right?
Yeah, pretty fresh out.
That's crazy. And you say that you still love the Army. Usually when you're fresh out of the military, it's like there's a lot of disdain for the military when you first get out until you have to let it go.
Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, there's
a little bit of bitterness there.
A little bit of bitterness to certain things, but overall it's that brotherhood.
Yeah.
It's that camaraderie that I feel like really
it sets you apart.
On. Yeah, exactly. So, I was instilled at a pretty young age. Like I said, my dad's real old school. My mom's a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. That was really the balancing point with my family. My dad was the laying down the hammer. Yeah. My mom, she made everyone happy.
So very traditional.
Yes, exactly.
Parent family. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you drop out of school.
Dropped out of school.
What do they say?
Well, you got to go to work. I'm like, I know. So I went to work for my dad, who's a carpenter.
Really?
Yep.
So I just came home, went to work.
Right away.
How old were you?
So because I was pretty young going through school. I was on like the younger side of my grade. So I turned 18 the day I moved into college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I turned 18 the day I moved into college.
So you were 18, basically.
So I was 18, yeah. So, and my whole life growing up, I was basically,
Which is so ridiculous to me that you are like, the whole fact of like, you got to be 18 and have it all figured out is the most ridiculous statement. Like, what do you want to do with your life? You just graduated high school, and now you have to go pick a degree or pick a field to go to college and be.
No idea.
I don't fucking know. I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was like 35. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm still not sure. I might change it. You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
That's one of the things I tell a lot of my younger cousins as well. They're kind of in that realm of going to college, getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to go to school, go to community. One, it's going to save you a bunch of money. You can work at the same time.
Get your high school diploma part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Knock that little stuff out. But just figure out what you actually enjoy doing.
Go work.
Exactly.
I'm like, just go work.
You'll be able to have different experiences.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you enjoy, in my opinion, until you go and try it.
Or join the military.
Yeah. And then you can find out real quick whether you like it or
Whether
not.
you like it
You're
or
going to
not.
be there either way.
Either way, it's an adventure.
Exactly.
So how long did you do that for?
So just about 4 years.
Wow, you worked for your dad for 4 years.
Yeah, on and off there. I moved to Charleston in South Carolina at one point. I think I was 19.
Okay.
19 at the time. Made a little bit of a rash decision. Moved down there with a girl I was with.
I was going to say it hadn't been doing it with a girl.
Yeah. I made that mistake, or good decision, whichever one you want to say it was.
It's an experience.
Yeah, exactly. I lived in Jersey my whole life. I'd never been anywhere else, so we just kind of picked a spot on the map. Charleston was it.
Jersey to Charleston, South Carolina. That's a big
180.
That's a big change.
Big 180. Love Charleston too. Really historical.
Yeah. I just went down there. I started there. I flew in there. Did you see what I did with the motorcycle, the Indian motorcycle trip?
Yeah, I watched the
yeah.
all the
so
GoPro footage.
we did. I don't know when that's going to come out, but we did 3 episodes with Indian. I think it's going to be on Indian's YouTube channel, and we started in Charleston and then went all the way to Key West.
It's quite a
in
ride.
6 days. Yeah.
It's going to be on their YouTube channel too?
Yeah, it's 3 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's on Indian's YouTube channel. Yeah, or will be. But yeah, that's the first time I really got to walk downtown in Charleston, and it was super
amazing,
super rad.
It's
town.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I'm a history nerd. I love all that stuff.
Oh, there's a lot there.
Yeah, I mean, just being somewhere that you're close to the beach. I mean, like here as well.
Yeah, right.
Can't beat this. Warm weather. It's just stuff to do. It's coming from Jersey.
So
all this is a big.
So then that's what happened. The girl broke up with you. You joined the Army.
So we split, and I didn't join right away.
Okay.
So I've had a couple different jobs, a couple different things. I moved back up home. Was really, really fortunate. Had a buddy of mine help get me into the elevator constructors union out of New York City. So yeah, I was climbing up and down elevator shafts for a few years, building elevators. From 2-story buildings to big high rise, you name it.
Oh, that's wild.
So, it was an interesting job. There's a lot going on there, but again, had that military itch that I had to scratch. And
So is that something you had always wanted to do?
Yes. So
really?
There was always a thing.
So why not go right? Why didn't I do it when you were younger?
So it was one, I had the opportunity to go to college, play football. Oh, if this doesn't work out,
I'll join the military.
Got out, got involved with a girl. That kind of took over my mind for that time frame.
So the whole time you were with that girl that you were doing carpentry with your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you didn't join.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I don't want to say that's not the full reason. It was just another obstacle in the way that shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have mattered either way.
Because I'm going to lose this girl if I join.
No, it really was. I got to be honest, because she was in before.
Oh,
she was in the Marine Corps before.
Oh.
Believe it or not. Yeah. So she's a cool girl, tough cookie, but
dirty little Wookie.
That's what we called her. That's what we called her, the Wook. Used to get her like Chewbacca presents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I swear. So she was cool though, and there was just always it wasn't really an obstacle, just something that basically deterred me from saying,
I know what that thing was.
Go for it.
I know it was deterring you. I know exactly what was deterring you at that age.
Yeah. Again, that again. I mean, yeah. I'm almost happy I waited a little bit for me, because I had some growing up to do. I mean, I still do as well. But at that time frame, if I would have went in to do what I wanted to do, I wasn't mentally prepared. Wasn't mature enough to take it seriously. Wasn't dialed in, focused, committed. Mm-hmm. So when I got to the point of, I left the elevator job, I was making pretty good money there for being 21, 22 years old. Yeah. Working tons of overtime. Wasn't happy. So I was like, you know what? If I don't do it now, I'm going to be 50 years old, 60 years old, rocking chair story.
Yeah, saying what if.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I could have.
Yep. So I was like, you know what? Enough time has gone by. Do it. Went, did it. Went in, X-ray contract, did all the infantry OSA, airborne, SFAS, went through the queue, made it through most of the course. Had some unfortunate things occur, ended up getting medically separated. Yeah. But again, being in and going through all those experiences and meeting the guys that I did, that changes you. I mean, you know firsthand, obviously, doing everything that you've done, it's life-changing. Yeah. And that's the brotherhood that's developed there. When it comes back to, kind of tying it into core again, most of our patients, we have patients from all different walks of life, but a lot of them are vets, or active duty, first responders. In that brotherhood, when, and I can vouch for everyone here at CORE, we understand, you're not talking to some call center somewhere.
Yeah. Anyone like we were talking about with Sid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was the one thing. That was the one thing that he was like, because of that meeting that we had, there was they were talking like, well, could we outsource a call center because we have so many leads coming in, right? Like March was a big month, right?
Yeah, a lot of people coming in.
A lot of people coming in, wanting to talk to you guys, and we don't do a call center because we want them to talk to you.
Yeah,
like we want to get them on the phone with you so you can hear them, and then personally walk through them, setting up their appointments with the either the PA or the doctor or whatever. And kind of go from there. And if you go to a call center, it's like, you're just a number at that point.
Yeah, you're not an individual.
Your symptoms, your life, your wife, your kids, your business, none of that matters anymore. And it takes away something that's pretty special.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Completely agree. And we really take a lot of pride in finding out who you are as an individual. Because
so going back, so you got medically discharged. Then what'd you do?
So then, through a mutual friend that I had through the military, one of Sid's very good buddies.
The South Carolina
buddy.
Yeah. The American hero.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure he'll be.
I hope he hears.
I was about to say, he's going to be cracking up when he hears that.
The real G.I. Joe.
Oh, he's going to have the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. So,
no, seriously, he is like America's G.I. Joe.
He is. We'll joke about it, but push comes to shove, he's the
dude.
Guy. He's that guy.
I'm ready for him to get out to make real money, so he makes sure
he'd crush it.
He's gonna make
anything that he puts his mind to. Yeah, he's already won before he's thought about it.
Right, I know
that. That mentality.
Of course, man. So you knew him.
Yeah, so I knew him.
How'd you meet him?
So through my sister and him had spoke at one point. They were together for a little bit.
No shit. What a small world.
Insane.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. I was expecting like SFA&S or, Q course or something,
So it's funny when I was
something like that.
Yeah, that's what you'd assume.
Yeah.
But I was getting ready to go in, and she started talking to this guy at this time. So yeah, he does, all this stuff.
All these things, yeah.
I'm like, okay, so we flew down there, me and my parents, to go meet him for like Thanksgiving. We all wanted to get together. So I go down there and meet him. Right off the bat, I'm like, all right, he's a real deal.
Immediately.
I could tell right away. It's just the handshake alone. Handshake speaks 1,000 words, right?
Yeah, right.
So met him, and I was just picking his brain. Like, what do I do? I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. What's the best route to go? And he laid it all on the table. He's like, this is exactly what you need to do. This is how you're going to do it. This is how you're going to be successful. So,
that's awesome, man. So he wasn't like a dick about it or trying to be like keep her the badge or.
No, and that's the other thing. He does a lot of incredible things.
Yes.
Different.
We don't have to get into it.
Different things like that. But he takes so much pride in the next group, the upcoming of the next batch of guys that are coming through, like the mentorship.
Okay.
He takes a lot of pride in that. So he coached me right through it.
I tell you what, man, that's the measure of a true leader right there.
Yeah.
The ones that's not the keeper of the badge. It's like trying to, like Sid, who's like, I will give you all the information to be successful.
Yeah.
As possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want what's best for you.
Yeah.
In your
because honestly, between South Carolina, buddy, Sid, everyone else here at CORE, 99% of everything I know here is from me picking their brains.
Yeah.
And it's not even an annoyance thing for them because, you could ask Matt. I'm knocking on Matt's door 50 times a day. I'm like, hey, I got a question. Hey, what's up, bud? What do you need? It's constantly, all the guys in there.
Well, they've been doing it for 12 years.
Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of, if you're not willing to pick the brain or,
be open to growth or learn.
Answers, because you have to be humble. And you have to be humble in order to grow. Because if I don't know something, I'm finding the guy who's the rock star at it.
Yeah.
I'm finding who's the best at this, the best at that, and I'm seeking them out for answers. So that way, basically like emulating them.
Right.
So that way I can fulfill.
Dude, that's what
I need to do.
I brought up. So Matt Bardu has 11. I think his podcast is called Level Simple 11 simple rules or something like that. But he has 11 rules for his family, and one of them is be a copycat. And what he means by that is copy what works. So if this is what works, take that, modify it for your needs, and utilize that to be successful.
Yeah.
Like that's simple.
Simple game plan.
Yeah.
Simple blueprint.
Simple blueprint.
And you miss, I mean, like everyone makes mistakes along the line no matter what. But learning from others' mistakes.
It's cheat code.
Yeah, it's cheat code. Yeah.
So so he hooked you up with Sid?
Yeah. So
how soon out of the Army when you got discharged?
I think the first time that I spoke to Sid was just about a week before I got out.
No kidding.
A week before I got out. And then, so that was like middle of August of this past year. And maybe 2 weeks after I got out, I think it was a Saturday morning, I was changing the oil in my truck.
So you were in North Carolina still?
So I had literally just moved back to Jersey. Still had stuff in my truck.
Okay.
So I was changing the oil in my truck. Call up Sid, he's like, hey, you want to come down? We'll talk. We'll meet. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Quick 10-minute phone call, nothing crazy.
Oh, so you had to come down here?
Yeah, flew me down.
Okay.
Flew me down here. Met everyone. Just honestly, I landed at the airport, Ubered over to the office, sitting in Matt's office, twiddling my thumbs. What's up, man? How's it going? David Black, he's coming in. Here's a notebook. Here's a piece of paper. Here's a binder to take notes. I'm like, okay.
He's great, isn't he? Isn't David great? Yeah. If you guys ever get on the phone with David, if you come on board with Core and you talk to David, you're gonna love it. Like he's one of the best.
He's
love that
incredible,
guy.
Bro.
Yeah.
And
like you want to talk about somebody who's super excited to talk to you. Like if you sign up, if you fill out the form and you want to talk to Core, this guy is so excited to talk to you. He is like freaking stoked to get on the phone with you.
It's unbelievable. Like how much energy. As soon as he
makes me
office,
happy.
Yeah. As soon as he walks in the office, it's like, you're coming off the basketball court, high-fiving everybody on the bench. That's David. That's David every morning.
Every morning. Awesome. I'm at work. Yes. I get to talk to people all day long. Yeah.
And you can't beat it, man, with the environment that's in that office. Like I just told you everything that I pretty much done work-wise. I've never been in an office environment.
No.
I've never been behind a computer. Sid gave me the first laptop I've ever owned, like legitimate laptop. So I was like, okay, I got a little bit to learn there. But it's just... it's a family there. You're not showing up to work.
These knuckles are calloused for a reason, right? It's because they dragged the freaking floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seriously. Like I grew up carrying a 2x4 in one hand and a cinder block in the other.
Right.
So it was it's been an awesome experience and continuing on just learning from everybody and helping people.
So you got hired pretty much right on the spot?
Yeah, so we flew down, showed me around a little bit, introduced me to everyone, you're taking me around Boca Raton when coming from New Jersey. It was,
high. All it is high-end Jersey.
Yeah,
exactly. South Florida is just high-end Jersey. That's all it is. It's Jersey with more money.
Good way to put it. Yeah, a lot more high-end.
Yeah.
So it went well. I think we had, 6 or 7 hours into the day so far. By the time I got down here, went out, honestly, just grabbed a couple beers and said, hey, if you want it, cheers. All right, cool.
Did you start working remote or did you just move?
So I started remote.
Okay.
So I stayed up in Jersey to see my family for a little bit, stashed a little bit away. And just this past January, I moved down.
Okay. So you only been down here a few months.
Yeah. Mid-January.
How's the adjustment going?
It's great.
Yeah?
It's pretty. I mean, don't get me wrong. At first, packing up 4 or 5 days notice, I was like, all right, let me load everything up and let's do it. If you don't, take opportunities or just be willing to jump, especially
throw yourself in, man.
Yeah, what do I have? What do I have up in Jersey that's keeping me here? Like, of course, I love my family, but they'll come down and visit me. It'll be like a vacation for them.
Well, the thing is like that's a big thing with young people. Like young people need to realize that you need to blaze your own trail. Mm-hmm. Like you can't be hanging out with mom and dad forever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. At some point, you've got to go create your own life. And there's a lot of young guys, and I'm sure you've seen it as well. That was like, well, I want to join this or I want to do this, but my mom thinks this or my dad thinks that. Like, first of all, it's not your mom and dad's life.
Sure.
If I did what my mom and dad wanted me to do, I would not be successful as your parents' job is to protect you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that protection can almost be can stifle your growth.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
they're trying to put you in a box because they're your parents and they want you to be protected. But unfortunately, the real growth happens uncomfortably, and you have to like go do,
stepping out of the comfort zone,
dangerous things.
Yep.
I don't mean like literally life danger, but things that have risk associated with them.
Yeah.
Like moving down here and working for a company that you just met. You know what I mean? Like could you fail? Could it all go to shit and you have to go back? Yeah, of course it could. But otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to be in Jersey carrying a 2x4 in a center block forever?
Yeah, you already know your future.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
The
You
book's already
know
written at that point.
Yeah.
Stepping out of your comfort zone and being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're very familiar with them.
Yeah, so it's easier for us to do that, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is going to be a little shitty. I can handle a little shitty.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Dealt with plenty of shitty.
Dealt with plenty of shitty.
And you know what? It's always the best feeling on the other side of that shit.
That's 100%, man. Yep. So, so the adjustment's been good though? You've been digging it?
Yeah, it's been great. I
mean, we basically call them like, I guess what, onboarders or fronters or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So it started out as a fronter. So
basically you're just calling people.
Yeah.
Or calling people that put in a lead form to sign up, right?
Yes.
And then you basically take care of the onboarding process before you hand them over to a patient coordinator?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So it was, learning from everyone there, David and Craig's particular, as they're, doing the front end position. Basically just anyone that was interested, new leads coming in, calling back old leads. I was reaching out, bringing them through the process, passing them off to the coordinator. And that's basically where the line stopped for me.
Okay.
So I was in that position for a few months there, probably, what would that be, about 4 months or so. Then I ended up moving down here, was learning the ropes of the coordinating business. Like I said, owe a lot to all the guys around me because it was a lot of information at first, but I just put my head down, decided to put in a lot of hours with it.
How many patients are you currently managing?
So roughly about like between 275 or so patients.
And that's low. Like how many does Matt have?
Don't even want to say. Probably quadruple.
It's thousands,
five
right?
Times easily.
Yeah. Thousands. So just to give you an idea, like some of these patient coordinators have thousands of patients that they're helping out in a cycle, right? Because you basically get your order and then you don't have to really work with them until the next order unless they need something. But how does that conversation, like, obviously you can't talk about specifics, but generalities, like when somebody gets on the phone with you, especially if it's a vet, how nice is it to like be able to speak that language?
It's a game changer. Because I mean, one, like I was saying before, that brotherhood really never ends.
Yeah.
And any patient that is interested or calls in, tell us as much as possible. Because when it comes to having the details, the nitty gritty, the stuff that you're afraid to bring up to, let's say your primary care or something like that.
Yeah.
The more information that we have, the better that we can help assess and treat everything that's going on with you.
That's what I told them, especially with like the PAs and the doc. Like when you get on, like, dude, they have heard everything
And some.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to shock anyone.
Nope.
Like especially with men. The elephant in the room. But a lot of times it's sexual dysfunction, right? That they don't want to talk about. And sexual dysfunction that I learned actually from the medical staff here in Sydney is I thought it was literally erectile dysfunction was sexual dysfunction. I didn't know that even the lack of interest.
Yep, sex drive.
In sex drive is sexual dysfunction. That is technically a form of ED. Is lack of just wanting it.
Yeah, no interest.
No interest.
No interest at all.
And that's a surefire like symptom that like your hormones are off.
Yes, something's out of whack.
And guys don't want to be honest, And when I before I got on, I like everything. My system worked, but I just didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't really give a shit about anything, including sex. You know what I mean? So that's why I always try to like fucking just tell people, dude.
Yeah, because it can be like we understand bringing it up. You're like, I kind of have that like
I'm a man.
I don't have any problems.
Right.
No. Say everything, lay it all on the table, because as soon as we know that information,
We can help. Yeah.
We can get you back to, when you did feel that way, when
Or
you
better.
didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
And honestly, better. That's, for me personally, my entire life was basically going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got my blood work done and saw everything that was going on with me, I won't dive too into detail. My testosterone levels was at like 275.
No kidding, coming out.
275 coming out.
And see, that's a big thing. Like if especially if you're a vet and you're and you got injured, they have, man, I wish, get your freaking blood tested every year, because we have watched, for the guys who have done it, I wish I would have done it. With the guys who have done it, we've watched them be almost fine, get injured, boom.
Yeah.
Drop.
Plummet.
Immediately.
It's unbelievable that there's so many different factors, but specifically being a vet or, being active duty still, the law enforcement, first responder realm, that environment, I mean, of course,
it's
physically
harsh.
And mentally it takes a toll on you in the short term.
But physically, it's harsh on your body.
It just continues to compound in the long term. And that's why, like you were saying, the blood work, at least find out why you're feeling this way.
Or even before. Don't you wish you would have done blood work at like every year from 20 on, or even 18? Like, because you played football.
Yep.
So, like, even as you're a teenager, if you would have just gotten a full panel, and then you're like, oh, I took a hard hit. So it, like, in 2017 I was good. 2018 I took a hard hit, got a concussion, and then did my 2018 blood work, and all of a sudden my levels are off. Well, now you can associate it with exactly what happened. I wish guys would do that. They need to do that in the military.
Yeah,
I think
paper trail is huge.
Yeah, I wish they would do a full hormone, like the 21 panel blood test that we do. Mm-hmm. I wish that the military would do that, active duty. As soon as you came in, 18 years old, full one, you get it every year.
Because with the blood work, at least then you have a trail or a track as to, I remember when I was feeling this way at this time frame, moving forward, did I do anything to implement any changes?
Right.
But you're just going to get jabbed with all the different, vaccines, all the other stuff. That's totally fine. But when it comes to why you're feeling off, there's some pretty young guys that have a lot of issues going on that you shouldn't be experiencing.
Yes, one of the there was 11 Bravo that hit me up. He said, "Hey, I'm currently in the infantry," and he goes, "Could the infantry be causing me low testosterone?" I don't know if you saw that question on the story. And I was like, I don't know if it's the infantry, specifically infantry, but definitely the job. There are a lot of things. So like if you've never shot, or if you've never been in a Humvee when somebody's shooting a 50 cal over top of you, that is a hell of a feeling, man. Your brain and body feels like it's like expanding and shrinking with every freaking bullet. You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, Jesus, dude.
It's all of those micro TBIs even. Yeah. Because I didn't really hit my head or anything like that. All those little instances, they compound.
Yeah, they compound. They add up, and it damages your glands and everything. So anyways, if you're listening to this, just get your blood tested, man. But yeah, it's not necessarily the one thing. It's a lifetime of that. But hence the reason why I think they should, man. I don't know why they. I don't know. What do you think it is? Laziness? Not giving a shit? I don't know.
I honestly, I think for like tracking it with the military, it almost leaves them out of harm's way as to.
Oh, if they don't track it, then they don't have to accept responsibility for anything. Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Of course, that's just my thought on it.
Oh, this is all. Hey, listen. All of this. Neither of us are medical doctors. We're just a couple of vets having a conversation. Yeah. But that being said, it's like we can make those assumptions. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you
gotta call it the way it appears, right?
Yes.
Like they're not doing it. If they did do it, people would be better taken care of. So if if they're not doing it or don't do it, it's not because of money. The military doesn't have a problem spending money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely don't have a problem with that.
You know what I mean? Like they're in the business of spending treasury dollars. Yep. They don't have to balance a P&L. I always make the joke when I was in, I used to make the joke that if the military had to balance a P&L, first sergeants and sergeant majors would be obsolete. They'd be like, what is it that you do here? You make sure that why don't they just do that because it's required and makes your job obsolete.
That's a damn good way to look at it.
Yeah, we already have admin. They're taking care of their pay. So what is it that you do? Well, I take the papers from the third floor to the first floor.
Everybody's got a job.
Yeah, everybody's got a job. Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyways, so all right. So wrapping up then here. So this is a short one because we're short on time. For people that are signing up and that are reaching out, like what do you I don't know. What do you have to say to them? Like, what's the process that you go through with somebody? Or
so, one, if you have anything going on or curious about what's going on with your body, going through things, physically and mentally, because it's not just the physical, it's the mental state as well.
I'd say it's probably even more so the mental.
Yeah, honestly, because in my opinion, that's the biggest factor.
Yeah.
The physical pros, of course, are great, but if you're not dialed in mentally, that really affects everything
all
else
aspects
going on
of life.
Yeah,
Yes,
everything else going on in your life. So if you have any concerns or questions about why you're feeling that way, just give us a call, because at least we can describe, hey, if you're having these symptoms, you're going through this, we can give you better direction as to, one, why that may be occurring, and also offer a solution.
And if you're a vet, you can just ask for Travis. I don't know. That's probably gonna totally throw up our our whole operational plan. City's gonna be like, why did you say that? But I'm gonna say it anyway. Just like, hey, I want to just call and be like, when you talk to David Black or Craig, I want to work with Travis.
I'm telling you right now, everyone you're in there, we all get it.
Yeah,
we all get it.
Yeah,
patients from all different walks of life. I mean, everyone in that office is some different walk of life too. All somewhat correlated, but we get it.
Yeah.
Just give us a shout. This isn't like you were talking about before, you're not calling up some other country sitting in a call center.
No, dude, you're the dude.
Yeah. Like my beautiful head of hair. That's the guy you're talking to, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter what time, what day. That's another thing that I think really separates us from a lot of other places or anything like that. Like, I was on the phone with a patient 9:30 last night, walking him through his protocol because he was doing his first injection. Like, you have our contact information.
Yeah, of course.
You can shoot me a text, give me a call whenever about anything. If you have any issues, some of these guys are going through a lot.
How many pictures of butts have you gotten?
I have a stupid amount of butt pictures.
Is this where it goes, or is it this where it goes?
I've had guys FaceTime me mid-injections.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Like, this is where it goes? Am I doing it right? But how awesome is that you're able to speak to your patient coordinator and be like, hey, man, I just want to be really sure that this is I'm doing this right. Yeah, you're doing it right. You're okay.
And we like that because we care.
Yeah.
Even if the thing, no such thing as a stupid question. It's true to a degree. When it comes to
your health.
Yeah, when it comes to your health.
Ask the question.
Yeah, that's what people will start out, a text or a call, like, hey, man, I'm sorry to bug you. This is really stupid. But I'm like, no, it's not.
But if you're you're the guy that's on Friday asking the gunny if we're supposed to show up on Monday in Alphas, then yes, that's a stupid question. You're an asshole.
There's a time for a stupid question for sure.
Well, Travis, man, is I'm glad you're on the team, man. You've been a freaking awesome addition to Core, and I'm excited to let the people get to know you a little bit, and hopefully you do have a bunch of people reaching out and be like, I want to work with Travis. I saw him on the podcast. I want to work with Travis.
I appreciate you having me on, bro. This is an awesome thing that you guys got going, and really,
how many of these have you watched now? You said you watched a bunch of them.
I don't even want to tell you. I was trying to get all mentally prepared over the last couple of weeks. So.
They're good though, right?
No, I love them.
What was your favorite one?
Honestly, I mean, Sid's going to see this anyway, but Mel's storytelling capability
is amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It hit 1 million. It hit 1 million views today. As we're recording this today, it hit 1 million views.
As soon as he speaks, you're just drawn.
I don't even have to say anything.
You're drawn.
I wind him up and he just goes.
That's one. His story is one thing, but just his ability to really express his story and everything that went on, it's
amazing.
You're hooked right away.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys, you know the deal. Subscribe and leave us a review on this podcast as well, and then screenshot this. Tag Travis. We'll put his Instagram is below. You guys have seen that, so tag him, tag Core, tag me. We'll share it out. We'll put this information out there. Share this with a friend. And other than that, thanks, Travis.
Thanks, bro.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Out.